Degree Weather Lab. Here's Daniel's True View forecast.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got a lot of wet weather on the way. Been talking about it for several days now, and that part of the forecast is finally arriving here. Let's talk first about what we're going to be seeing out over towards the east. And I think that they end up with some heavier showers the other side of the basin. So they've got a flash flood watch that's going to be in effect until about Saturday afternoon. A couple pretty high-profile events going on the other side of the basin as well. Of course, you've got the LSU-Auburn game. It's going to be bringing in quite a crowd. And I think by the time that the game gets going, the showers will more or less have kind of come to an end. But if you're going out there early, especially if you're going to be headed out there tomorrow, you're going to have to deal with a lot of that wet weather. New Orleans has Big Voodoo Fest that's going to be going on in the Crescent City. It's going to be very, very soggy. Both cities, New Orleans and Baton Rouge, certainly have their own issues with drainage as well. So make sure that you're careful if you're traveling out to either of those. We've got our own festivals and activities going on in Acadiana as well. We got Black Pot that's going to be kicking off tomorrow here in Lafayette. It's going to be very wet for that for the first half of the festival anyway. And anyone that's got stuff going on tomorrow is going to have to be dealing with that wet weather. But again, we don't have the flash flood watches in effect. We may see those go up tomorrow depending on how the radar looks and how some of those showers and how some of those thunderstorms are going to be shaping up. And we'll talk about what to look for tomorrow here in just a moment. First, though, let's talk about the tropics because that's what's feeding into this system. This is a big part of the reason why we do have to worry about the weather this weekend. We may even end up seeing this become an official depression. Now, whether or not it becomes a depression, the impacts and the talking points for Acadiana, those aren't going to change at all. It's going to stay very, very wet. It's going to be windy through the day tomorrow. We'll see the winds at about 10, 15 miles an hour, especially offshore. Those who are offshore are going to be dealing with gale force winds. You may see 40, 50 mile an hour winds out here. Seas are going to be really, really churned up. Not really the best time to be out on a boat or really out offshore here this weekend. National Hurricane Center giving a 60% chance to develop. So we've actually seen the chance go up quite a bit. But again, whether or not it becomes a tropical depression, that doesn't change any of our talking points. It's still going to be interacting with that front, still going to be bringing us heavy rains, whether or not it is a depression. That's kind of a moot point at this point in time. Here's what it looks like out on the radar right now. Of course, we've got this system sitting out in the Bay of Campeche, all that tropical moisture that's surging northwards, interacting with this front that's starting to push its way close to the area right now. And it's brought some pretty intense weather out over through parts of Colorado, the Rockies, even North Texas, dealing with a little bit of snow and ice out through there. Now, we're not going to see any kind of precipitation like that. We're just still too warm and muggy here, especially with this push of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. But you can see some pretty decent showers out there up along the front. It's going to get a little bit of an injection from the Gulf of Mexico. And that's why we're talking the possibility for some heavy showers tomorrow, certainly moderate to heavy showers as we go through the day. Let's stop this at 7 o'clock and we can point out what we're going to be looking for tomorrow. Notice this line here. It anchors out in the Gulf of Mexico, stretches northwards. Where these set up is where you're going to see some of the heaviest rainfall. Right now, models kind of bringing heavier rainfall out to our west and out to our east, but small little movements in that are going to have a pretty big impact. A couple thunderstorms in there as well. You'll see some heavy stuff rolling through the afternoon. By the evening, we may get a little bit of a break. Again, you can see that line, those training showers setting up. That's what we're not really going to want to see on the radar tomorrow. That's going to be the thing to keep an eye out for as these showers do work their way across. By the time we get to Friday night, we'll get a little bit of a break. Not for terribly long, though. I think we get another round of showers on Saturday, maybe a little bit lighter for Saturday morning, starting to look a little bit better as we get further and further into the day. But again, small little wobbles are going to bring some of these hot spots closer to the area, so we'll have to watch the radar closely tomorrow where those long lines of showers, those training showers set up. That's going to be the big key in who's picking up the most of the rain. Now, I think that we're probably on average looking at about 2-3 inches worth. This particular model run's come in a little bit lower here over the last go around, but again, 2 to 3 is going to be a pretty good bet. Hot spots of about 4 to 5 with some very localized areas that may pick up closer to 6-7 inches, maybe even 8 in some areas. These tropical showers produce a ton of rainfall pretty quickly. So again, where those bands set up, that's going to be the big key for tomorrow. Exactly where they set up, unfortunately, we don't really know that until we start to actually see them popping up out there. 63 degrees for your overnight low tonight, mostly cloudy skies. I'll have the showers with us by tomorrow morning. 70 for your high tomorrow. Soggy wrap up to the work week. A couple thunderstorms out there as well. They should stay below severe criteria. It'll be pretty breezy out there as well. We'll keep the clouds going for the majority of the day on Saturday. That 30% of showers, I think that's early. I think by mid-morning where you've more or less seen the end of that rainfall. Clear for the end of the weekend, beginning of the week. Another front coming through for Halloween. We may be pretty chilly coming up here. Right at the end of that 10-day forecast, you see temperatures down in the 40s, highs in the 60s.
Yeah.
Real fall weather back there.
We're seeing a little bit of everything there. And Black Pot this weekend, bring the boots. It's going to be a bit muddy, I bet.
It will be very muddy. I'm
Yeah.
supposed to camp out there. We'll see.
Are you? Okay,
We'll see
well,
how that
report
goes.
back next week. Thanks, Daniel.